Vicki, from Creative Cardiff's perspective, what do you think the game plan is now moving forward working with creative industries in Wales?
Well, I think there's lots that we're still discovering and learning, as the pandemic continues. For us as an organisation, we've got a few priorities that we see, should be our focus over the next few years. Number one being championing and empowering freelancers, creative individuals that are working in the sector. We need to do more to map who they are, where they are, what their interests are, and how we can support them in the future. Very importantly, the discussion and the action around equality, diversity and inclusion that has really, come to the front over the last year. And we're seeing lots more work in that area so that, those people that want to start creative businesses or work in creative businesses come from a diverse and wide range of places. And how do we do that? How do we enable that? How do we break down the barriers to entry, but also much further on looking at, progression through career, developing leaders and all of those type of things as well. I think for us as well, we are really looking at how we can develop the data and the statistics around the creative and cultural industries, because one of the past years things that has shown is that maybe we need more of that information. We need to know more about what's happening and celebrate that, and mean that we're basing our decisions about what we're doing on that.
Okay, Vicki, what about the rest of Wales? What about Wales as a whole? Because I know that Cardiff currently, I understand, is sitting third, only behind London and Manchester, for creative workers in the UK. What would you say we need to do for Wales as a whole to progress, for everywhere to be a big player?
Yeah, I think it's part of the work that we've started to do at Creative Cardiff, actually. So we've recently launched a project called Our Creative Place, which is looking to connect creatives up around Cardiff, so those local authorities that make up the Cardiff capital region. And so we have a storytelling project underway at the moment. I know there is lots of work underway to develop networks like ourselves in North Wales and in West Wales, and I think that's a really positive sign. Because I think through networks like ourselves, we identify who's working in the areas, bring people together and, encourage innovation and collaboration and all of those things, which will in turn strengthen all of Wales. And I think, it's understanding the different strengths in the different areas, the different challenges that might face those areas. There are things like access to broadband and digital that still need to be looked at and improved in certain areas of Wales in order to make that, much stronger in those regions. But also looking at, and one of the things we're trying to do through the Our Creative Place project is really drawing out what are those quirks and brilliances about each area, so that not every area is looking to sort of be the same as Cardiff, because each area has its own identity. I think it's brilliant to see things like Tramshed Tech, a co-working space opening in Swansea, those type of organisations and initiatives being set up around Wales, I think will only be positive.
Vicki, how important do you think collaboration is in creative industries?
I think it's really important, and it's something that we strongly believe in at Creative Cardiff. We've recently launched a monthly series of events called Need, Have, Collaborate, and the main aim of those meetups is to encourage people to reach outside maybe their own network of people that they usually work with, and branch out and see, who else can I collaborate with? And out of those new collaborations, new ideas, innovation, new things will spark, We have been working a few different kind of collaboration projects over the last year. One includes our digital story wall called Our Creative Cardiff. And, whilst the individuals on that were working individually, we had a few group workshop sessions where they were encouraged to kind of collaborate in terms of sharing resources, sharing ideas and supporting one another, So I think it's absolutely vital.
For the full conversation, head over to the Be The Spark Wales website or look for the GamePlan podcast wherever you normally find your podcasts.